Are you tired of the same old pro wrestling? Then check out the amazing action on Powerslam.tv, the biggest indie pro wrestling channel in the world. Get over 4,000 hours of the best pro wrestling events from over 110 of the biggest names in the industry from over 15 countries around the globe. Get your free trial today at Powerslam.tv.
The following is brought to you by the Social Suplex Podcast Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this week's edition of NXT Then, Now, Forever. I'm James Boyd, and I am here with one half of Ricky and Clive from the Ricky and Clive Wrestling Podcast. I am with Clive himself. What's going on, my man?
Good evening, James. It's an honour to make my NXT Then Now Forever debut. Hopefully your listeners can understand what I'm saying, but if you've been listening to Noam Dar for the last couple of years, then you should be okay.
Yes, look, believe it or not, I do listen to the show every so often. It's not that I just don't listen to everybody else's show. I do check out the show, so I do know what you guys sound like. Trust me. And plus, we already did a show just a few months ago.
Yeah, the Christmas quiz one?
Yes, where me and Rich crushed the competition. So, yes.
You had to bring that up. See, to be honest, if people can understand Neville's promos in these retro shows, then you should be fine with me.
Yeah, I don't really, I think that's really mostly jokes. And plus, I'm not I'm a person that, like, when people talk about, I can't understand the words you're saying when it's someone that doesn't speak a different accent or someone that speaks natively is a different language and this is their second language, I'm very forgiving on that because, look, I watch plenty of Japanese wrestling like I'm sure you do. I couldn't begin. I couldn't begin to even try to even form a sentence. Like the most I can do is hi means yes. Konnichiwa. Arigato. That's all I got. I'm out already. Yeah, so I couldn't even begin.
And some of the moves, and that's it.
Sorry?
Some of the moves as well, you probably know, but that's the gist of it.
Yeah, exactly. So, I guess now that we've done that, I guess we can just move on to the retro show, the NXT from 5 years ago.
It's party time!
All the time!
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 Don't be a lemon!
Be a rosebud!
WWE NXT 220 from May 8th, 2014. Whew, boy. Okay, let me get my notes out of Let's do this one. This is, boy. Man, NXT is definitely on a different level. Yes, we start out with Emma versus Charlotte. This is the second half of the first round for the Women's Championship tournament. Charlotte gets early control and puts Emma in a figure four leg lock. A figure four headlock, and it takes up most of the match. Apparently, at this point in her career, Charlotte is still in the WWE Heel Training Wheels program. Emma starts a fight. Yeah, Emma ends up fighting and starts a comeback, and then gets Charlotte into the corner. Emma reaches into her wrestling boot because she's been messing around with Santino on the main roster. She reaches in and she pulls out a pink cobra. And she sets it up just like Santino. She chops the wrist, she chops the elbow, and she cocks the arm back. So she sets up to do it. Sasha climbs up on the apron, and then right next to Charlotte, Emma tries to do a tornado cobra strike, and Charlotte ducks out the way. Emma ends up hitting Sasha, laying her out. So Charlotte schoolboys Emma and then bridges over Emma's legs and traps her for the picks up the win. So Charlotte now advances to the second round. She'll take on the eventual winner of Alexa Bliss versus Alicia Fox. Thoughts, Clive?
Well, I started watching NXT shortly after Sami Zayn won the title, so all this is new to me.
Yes.
It was quite interesting hearing the old theme music at the start as well, but
it's jarring, isn't it?
I know, it's strange. This was the first time that I'd properly seen Emma's dancing gimmick as well, and it was this is not nice, but it's as if she's on some sort of special care program or something.
This is.
It was like, what are you doing, Hen? It was just bizarre. It's a far cry from what she became later on, definitely. And it was quite weird seeing Charlotte and Sasha as the BFFs, considering what has become for them both 5 years later. That's quite the image it was.
Yeah. How do I say this? Yes. The hook for Emma on NXT was that she was like a struggler, and when she used to do the struggle skim the cat deal, the crowd would, oh, she did it, yay! But then she gets on the main roster, people don't know her, and she's not endearing to the crowd, at least not yet, or really never was, because they never gave her any credibility. Like, it's just cringe. Like, one man's endearing is another man's cringe, and that's just like, you watch it back and you're like, you realize why she didn't get over. Like, that's what they went with, and they never built her up to be lovable. They were like, just love her because she's goofy and she's pratfalling, and it's like, nah, you kind of have to earn that on the front end. Yeah, and then Charlotte.
Charlotte was good. She did a few things that she doesn't seem to do anymore. See that figure 4 headlock?
Yes, thank God.
Are you not a fan of that?
I mean, her matches are better now. And there's not just a spot where she's just sitting there sucking the life out of a match now. Like, she's done it effectively, like, you'll see through you remember through the NXT run, like, that was an effective mode of offense, but now where she is now the main roster, like, thank God less rest holds, the better. I guess is the way I'm thinking of it.
I think with that figure 4 headlock, she sort of transitioned into a sort of Three Amigos over the top slam to them as well, so it had that addition to it, and it made it a bit more appealing. But I see where you're coming from.
You're right. I do remember the situation when they used to do the Three Amigos deal. Yeah, and it wouldn't just be a situation. She expedited the process by doing that as opposed to just sitting in there on the middle of the mat. So yeah, she definitely adopted it, but. It feels like over like the last maybe 2 years, she just completely junked the whole thing.
Yeah, it's gone completely from her arsenal, I think.
Yeah. And I like Charlotte's evolution as a wrestler. Like, she is her matches actually, they don't feel choreographed. At moments when they count, like, they feel physical, and she's the damn Amazon. She's like literally imposing her will on the women. Like, when she busted Rousey's mouth at Survivor Series, I was like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't on purpose, but like the fact that, I think I said this before, it was like, Charlotte has gotten to a point now to where she wrestles these women, and she's almost like she's not afraid to break them anymore. So she's like, whatever, I bust her mouth, whatever, it's wrestling. It's a competitive business. Like, it happens.
Just get on with it.
Yeah, so next match we get we get the Legionnaires, and it's Sylvester LaFord, and I believe his partner name is Marcus Louis. Marcus Louis, I'm sorry. And they walk out and LaFord's holding a French flag, and if you don't get that yet, don't worry, because they also have the word France written on the back of their trunks and covers their entire asses. Just in case you don't get the gimmick, like, we'll make it real simple, so your dumbass will understand.
It was so forced, and Renee Young was practicing a French accent throughout that match, and it was, bad.
Yeah, like, Renee is somehow, like, she was better back then than now, but she was still like having her, like forgetting like what side of the spectrum she's on as far as a heel face dynamic at times. But like, it's even worse now. Like, somebody pointed out on Raw that when Sami Zayn came out on Monday, when he goes out and gets the trash can deal, that he that she was like, yeah, you know, the critic of the critics, yeah, let's hear it. And then by the time he got to the promo where the crowd has had it and they're about to use Braun Strowman as a Sandman to, you know, snatch his ass off the stage, like she goes, get him out of here. What is he talking about? It's like, you mean to tell me in like a 90-second time frame you've gone from you're with him to get him out of here? It's like, can we just like can we just at least go segment to segment before you switch between like dynamics? Like, damn. So anyway, back to lecture at hand. We end up getting Kalisto with El Local. Now, Clive, were you able to discern who El Local was?
I did have to Google it.
Oh, I didn't. I knew exactly who it was the second he came out. Yes, it is the greatest personal ring announcer in the history of professional wrestling, Ricardo Rodriguez, in a bodysuit and a mask, trying to pretend to not be the greatest personal ring announcer of all time in professional wrestling himself, Ricardo Rodriguez. And I guess, I don't know if people just didn't realize it or if they just let it slide, but because you know how the NXT crowd, the Full Sail crowd is, they'll just savage you. So we'll get into the match. I guess we'll do that.
Right.
Yeah. They get the early heat on El Local, and then with some quick tags and isolating him in the heel corner, they beat the hell out of him, get the heat. El Local hits, because I have local written in my thing instead of L, so I'm thinking like, oh, it's local. Anyway, El Local hits a head kick from his back and attacks in Kalisto. Kalisto runs wild on a hot tag with a springboard crossbody, a middle rope springboard corkscrew, and a Salino del Sol for a cover. Marcus Louis ends up breaking up the pin. El Local gets Louis out of the ring and then hits a slingshot corkscrew onto Louis down on the floor, which is like, wow, that dude wasn't no geek. He could actually really wrestle. So Kalisto ends up, oh my god, my notes are just shambles. Damn voice attacks. Anyway, okay, so yeah, here we go. Kalisto ends up turning a back body drop into a schoolboy and then gives LaFord a head kick, and then he ends up hitting what can only be described as a back handspring rope rebound head kick for the win.
That was bizarre. Yes,
it was like the Cedric Alexander move in variations of different stuff like the Greg Sasuke has done or whatever else, but I never knew an actual name for the damn thing. So, backstage, we get Adam Rose hyping up one of his rosebuds for a match against Camacho. So, this fucking gimmick.
See that? What stood out from that segment was I saw Becky Lynch, Braun Strowman, even Tucker Knight was in there.
Yes.
They're all doing well for themselves on the main roster. And Adam Rose, who was the front runner of that, sort of whatever it was, he's a ghost now.
Yes.
I mean,
yes. Like, yes, we had Fuck All Night Tucker Knight out there. Yes. We also had JoJo in the mask too as well. I don't know if you caught that one, but I noticed it.
No.
Yes. I never mind. I'm not going to tell him myself. I'm just going to move on from there. So then we get Captain Comic versus Camacho. This is a quick squash match. He beats the hell out of him with like the worst shotgun drop kick I've ever seen, like in this other developmental levels of striking. After the match, Camacho goes in to attack Captain Comic again, but Adam Rose makes a save and then Camacho bails out. We then get a backstage promo quick backstage promo from Alicia Fox and Alexa Bliss. And Alicia Fox says that she can see the future, and Alexa Bliss says that when she's around, life is bliss.
We'll see about that.
Well, look, I actually have positive things to say about an Alexa Bliss match on this show. So, believe it or not.
And same here.
Yeah. Like, it was like, wow. she may have gotten worse. Who knows? Anyway, so Alicia Fox comes out, and she's basically doing a very tame entrance by her standards. None of the captain's hat shenanigans. It's more just twirling the jacket. Then out comes Alexa Bliss in a cheerleader uniform with a tutu around her waist, with 2 handfuls of glitter that she blows out of her hands. Renee on commentary says that she looks like a fairy. She's Tinkerbell. She's adorable.
Jesus.
To quote Dwayne Carter Jr., she used to be the sweetest girl. Like, what happened? What the hell happened here? Like, she was a plucky, or not plucky, she was a, adorable baby face, but apparently, actually I know what happened. There's no room for adorable in Vince McMahon's wrestling circus. So, cut that shit out. We'll make you a heel, and, you're just a damn munchkin that beats up bigger women. Okay, cool. So, anyway, they lock up. Alicia hits a big back elbow that looks like we may have just saw Alexa Bliss's first concussion. It's like, yo, this is crazy. She just got rocked. So Alexa answers back with some offense centered around some of her Tomlin background. She does what was now a signature move where she does the backhand stand into the double knees on the floor.
Yeah, that's right.
Alicia cuts her off with a tilt-a-whirl backbreaker, a big one, and then Alicia ends up hitting her slaps on a headlock, then ends up hitting her with a perfect looking fisherman suplex. Alicia takes her back to the ground with a side headlock takeover. Alexa fights to her feet, frees herself. But you can also see that her mouth's been busted, so she fires back with some forearms, but Alicia still has wrist control, and she goes for another tilt-a-whirl backbreaker, but Alexa counters it mid-air into a tilt-a-whirl Lucha Small package for the win.
That's one of the best finishes I've seen to a match. I couldn't even describe what I saw. She turned a tilt-a-whirl into a small package. I thought, how the hell did you just do that?
Yeah, and another thing about the Alexa Bliss thing is this was a definitive finish that you knew was the finish, or you believe could be the finish, and that she won, as opposed to she hits a DDT, and then you're like, okay, 1, 2, 3. Wait, what? So, she hits a forearm shot. 1, 2, 3. Wait, what? So, yeah, yes, she was probably a better wrestler in the year 2014 with a dozen matches on her belt than she is now when she's traveling, or the last 2 years when she's been traveling the world wrestling every damn week. Go figure.
She had a gymnastics background, is that right?
Yes, she was a former competitive cheerleader. Yeah.
I mean, surely you would want to tap into that for throughout the years instead of turning her heel and making her just not do these athletic moves as much. I know she does is it Sparkle Bliss, the top? I can't remember the name of the move.
I know what you're talking about. It's almost like a Fosbury flop except off the top rope. Yeah.
Stuff like that. But if she's got that gymnastics background, why would you want to use it? Why wouldn't you want to use it? Sorry.
I think the thing is, there's no room for adorable in WWE. It's no, that's nobody. They don't really do white meat baby faces, and I mean, they're really not good at baby faces at all, but especially those types, unless it just falls into their lap like Daniel Bryan. Mm-hmm. Now, the thing for me is, she has said online before that I don't wrestle in a certain way because I'm a heel, and I used to be like, okay, sure, great, fantastic. Cool. Yeah, sure. Right? I'm watching Andrade go out here, tear the fucking house down and lose left and right, every single week, every other week, but he's a heel. I don't want to hear that. Then you see this match, you're like, yeah, she does have more to bring to the table. That's not just lip service. How much she has left to bring, I don't know. But, she could, I'm not saying she's going to be Casey Cat, or she could be Casey Catanzaro. No, hell no. But, she could have, or could, or still can, she has the potential to do more and improve her matches with this, but who knows if, with all the concussions, it's like, nah, I'm gonna preserve my body and try to keep this thing in the road. Like, it's kind of like the kind of sacrifice Seth has made in his career.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, next after that, we end up getting... so now that she's won, she will face Charlotte Flair in the second round of the NXT Women's Championship Tournament, where she will catch that L. So, so then we go backstage for a Neville promo. He puts over the Battle Royal to determine the number one contender for his NXT title by saying that anything can happen in a Battle Royal. Look at Cesaro, and then we move on from there. We get, I don't know, it's probably like 20 people. It's just shout out the names you saw. Like, it's Neville, it's Baron Corbin, it's Sami Zayn, it's Tyson Kidd, it's Bo Dallas, it's Mojo Rawley.
Xavier Woods pre-New Day.
Yep. Xavier, when he was a total jobber on NXT from what I've seen. So, let's see. Brodus Clay was out there. I think I said Jason Jordan already. Sorry?
Yoshitatsu as well.
Yes, the crowd. See, now, when the match started, the crowd chanted for Yoshitatsu to win, and like stuff like this is the reason why like Vince McMahon hates us as fans. Like you jackasses, Yoshi fucking Tatsu. If I actually made Yoshi Tatsu win this match, you would have rejected the thing in a matter of weeks. It would be killed dead. So I was like, okay, see, there is some validity to not listening to the fans all the time. Most of the time, you should listen to the fans. All the time, no. Like, you should listen to the fans when it's not a bad idea. So,
it's hard to weigh up. There's a lot of variables that they need to take into account, but when you've got something staring in your face, like Yoshitatsu chants, basically throughout that whole Battle Royal, then why would you ignore that?
Are you serious? Well, I'll say this. They made use of it with good heat, so I'm not going to go through this match. It was really nothing of a match. Like, Yoshitatsu got thrown out by Bo Dallas, correct?
Probably, yeah. I can't remember. Yeah. It was
I just remember a run where...
melee.
Okay. I just remember a run where Bo Dallas throws out... At the end, he throws out 3 people. He throws out, I believe, Yoshi... and he threw out other people like, oh my god, I'm blanking on who it was he threw out. But he threw out people that actually mattered to NXT. Mm-hmm. And then Tyson Kidd throws him out. The crowd pops huge because they got this asshole that they've won out of NXT like for weeks and months out of here. No more title shots for you. You're gone. Vamoose. So,
Full Sail.
Say again?
Leave our Full Sail, basically.
Yes. So then we end up getting the final 3, and it's Tyler Breeze, it's Sami Zayn, and it's Tyson Kidd. Sammy's the one that threw out Bo Dallas, so he's out on the floor. So you have Tyson did. So Sammy is laid out for some reason. Tyson and Breeze are fighting back and forth. They end up getting... Tyler Breeze ends up on the apron. Sammy ends up on the apron. Breeze ends up trying to charge at both of them after making both of them kind of hold on to top rope with their feet hanging over, like they're almost in like skim the cat position. They get back on the apron, and by that point in time, after Breeze ends up running to try to knock both of them off, he ends up taking a tumble, and all 6 feet touch at the same time. So there's confusion. They don't know who to pick, so who goes next. They start arguing amongst each other. So then the crowd starts chanting for JBL, then NXT Commissioner, which is still funny. And then Triple H comes out and he says, by that point in time, the crowd is chanting Triple Threat, and it's so funny because the crowd wants a Triple Threat. So Triple H comes out. He says, "Seems to be some confusion. We give the fans what they want, or I don't think he said the fans are the authority, but I think he said something that alludes to like the fans are the authority. So we give you what you want. Next week on NXT, triple threat match, winner takes on Neville for the NXT title at NXT TakeOver. And I was like, huh. It's they've done this before. Like, they basically pulled out the Triple H playbook of, I'm the authority figure. I listen to the fans and give them what they want. Except in NXT, they actually do. They don't just say they're going to give you what you want and then can just continue doing whatever they plan on doing any damn way.
Yeah.
So,
good point.
Yes. So maybe we need to get Vince the fuck up out of here and just put Triple H in there and say, yeah, look, you run this and we'll run with you until it's time to get rid of you.
Yeah.
So thoughts.
Vince can deal with his XFL.
Sorry?
Vince can deal with XFL and leave Triple H in charge. See, the thing I liked about that finish was it really was expertly done, because I have no clue whose feet touched the floor first. It was all in sync.
Yeah.
Like, I think literally all 6 feet did touch the floor at the same time.
Yeah. And it's funny because that's hard to do with anybody regardless of talent level at all, because if you go back to 2017 when it was Luke Harper versus AJ Styles at the end of that Battle Royal, AJ's feet clearly touched first, but they didn't show the camera angle because they knew they fucked up and they needed another week. Right. So then they end up having that match between AJ and Luke Harper. So, like, when you have people that talented fuck it up, you know it's difficult. And they managed to make it work. And it makes you like, wow, like, Bret Hart really was able to get his feet on the floor at the same damn time as Lex Luger. We should give that man a trophy. More, another, like, a Lifetime Achievement trophy. Like, oh yeah, remember when you did this awesome thing with this person that's like only was okay, but like now we have people to this day still fucking this up. Like, you were doing this in '94. Like, yeah, you were great, Bret. You're just awesome. You're just awesome. So, general thoughts on the show.
Oh. I mean, when I started watching back in 2014, 2015, I was sort of hypnotised by how good it was, but I forgot how much garbage was in the middle. And you've got this Captain Comic guy, the Legionnaires. It was tough viewing, and I get that it was the early days of NXT, but Jesus, that was some dreadful stuff.
Like, I think the best thing you can say about these NXT shows as I've been going through them, because most of them are, you might get like a match that's above 2 stars, and then you'll get a kick-ass main event with Neville or Sami Zayn in it. But if you don't, like, they'll give you matches, but at least like the matches are so short that they don't have a chance to suck the life out of you yet. So, like, at least they know, like, dude, this can't go long. Like, this can't go long within 8 minutes. We gotta just get this over with. As opposed to, yeah, let's do Baron Corbin and have him go through 2 commercial breaks. So yeah, that definitely helps. Like, thank God for the 1 hour. Like, if they, tried to do 2 hours of NXT back then, no, they never would have ever done it. Got to a Brooklyn. It never would have drew. It would have been like, no, we're done. No, thank you.
So many geeks, it's hard to keep count of them.
Okay, so, yeah. So now we're just going to move on to this week's NXT.
I'm incredibly frustrated.
I get that.
I've been losing big matches, and every time he's involved. I won that 5-way by myself. Didn't need any help. Roddy tries to get involved, and there's a big misunderstanding. Again.
NXT 505 from May 8th, 2019. We get Bianca Belair versus Mia Yim, and a match that's been hyped up since last week when they, end up interrupting Robbie Brookside's class at the Performance Center. So the match ends up starting with Belair working as a heel, working over Mia, and we get a splash. They ends up getting a 2 count. Bianca then continued to target the back, lean to another near fall. Bianca began to talk trash because apparently she's a heel again after being a babyface for like 2 months. Mia ends up coming back and rallying, and she ends up getting a hope spot, and then she ends up getting caught in the guillotine choke, but Bianca, after looking to be done, ends up countering into a suplex. We end up getting a mean streak from Belair where she just is ruthless. Mia ends up blocking a splash that comes from Belair by getting up the knees. Belair then ends up feeding for a comeback for Mia. We end up getting a suplex from Mia. Then we end up getting a Otto Vods. Trying to think other fat guys. Oh, Rusev, Kevin Owens, cannonball in the corner in the bottom against the bottom rope, bottom turnbuckle. Mia then applied a tarantula in the ropes, but clearly had to let go at the 5 count. And then she goes for a sunset flip, but Bianca grabbed the ropes, and then the ref told her to let go of the ropes because that's cheating. So then they end up getting to that same exact spot again, but instead this time Bianca used her hair and wraps it around the middle rope and holds onto the end of her hair, and the ref counts the pin because apparently, like, when someone cheats the first time, the second time you don't look. So
I know, it's just a case of you're allowed to use your hair. It's not shaped like hands, so you're okay.
Yeah. I guess it's like.
I mean, it was a clever idea, but
yes,
where's the ref's continuity there?
Yes. I think it works out better if you don't draw attention to it by saying, "Hey, you can't do that," and then like, or if they weren't just back to back, it would be more believable as opposed to this. Like, you can't do that. It's like, imagine if you're speeding and then the police like pull you over, and then like after they write you a ticket or whatever, like you go and pull off and then you go over the speed limit again right in front of them. It's like they're not just gonna say, whatever, I'm not even gonna look or whatever else. They're gonna be like, are you kidding me? And then pull you over again and probably put you in jail for being a jackass. They're not gonna just say, oh no, whatever, you're good, and then whatever. It's I just what is it? The suspension of disbelief, like that whole thing was just like, it pulled me out of watching the show, and I love NXT. That's why I do this stupid show. So,
I mean, I was more impressed with just the heel tactics, but now that you bring up that the ref should have seen it and should have stopped it,
yeah,
it does bring you out of it. It does jump the shark.
Yeah, I think the fact that she's going back heel, I don't mind that at all. In fact, I think at least before Kyrie left, I was looking at the lay of the land thinking, like, if any of the 4 big women between Io, Kyrie, Bianca, or Shayna were to go to the main roster, it would probably be Shayna. But Shayna doesn't get to go up to the main roster because reasons. So she's still
reasons. You take the words right out of my mouth there.
So since Kyrie's the one to leave, it's like, all right, well, you may as well make a space to build the next big baby face now that Io is now taking filling in the role and now facing Shayna and her goons. So Bianca's number 2 heel, so she has this, Mia Yim, and I'm assuming Candice LeRae is on deck, and I'm assuming she'll eventually get to other people to beat up. So good for her.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of her, so I think being a heel suits her natural character anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I think the presentation either way, depending on how far you turn up the level on it, can modulate between, blue chipper babyface or like just you're so dope that I have to hate your guts. So it depends on how she modulates it. So yeah, because there's not much of a difference from when she was babyface facing Shayna. Really not.
No, not really.
Yeah, so it's turned down. It's like I'm trying to like the more humble she is, the more likable she is, and then once she turns it back up, she's like, oh, I hate her. Yeah. So speaking of Io and Shayna, we get a Performance Center skit where I believe it's Jessamine sets up a handheld camera, and Shayna's going to referee as she's trying to whip Marina and Jessamine into shape so they can finally get a fucking win on TV.
Yeah, that was quite telling, that scene.
Yes. So it's like, look, you goons need to practice so y'all can get a damn W on this show. So I'm tired of like being the champion with some goons that like, how do I have heaters that have no heat?
Yeah.
So I need to get y'all some heat. So they go tussling, and I'm sorry, this had to be a rib. You see Io running from. This is the Performance Center. You know, there's 7 rings in there. And you know, a ring is 20 by 20. So imagine you're in an area that's big enough to hold 7 rings in close proximity. Right. And then they had Io run from like 50 yards away and run and sprint into the ring, and you just see it coming, and you're like, this has to be a rib. She's running and running and running. I look down at my phone. I go to Starbucks. I order a large frap. I come back home, and by that point in time, she's just now getting to the ring to go beat up Shayna, who is the ref with her back turned, and then, you know, a bunch of other PCers and geeks assemble to break them all up and separate them, and that leads to, you know, building to a program between Io and Shayna, or Io versus the goons to get to Shayna.
The biggest takeaway from this segment, and if you include last week's segment with Mia Yim and Bianca Beliar in the Performance Center, Robbie Brookside cannot be trusted to train women wrestlers because he's just not doing a good job.
No.
He can't deal with the temper.
Yes. He's just like, these women are just beyond me. I don't know what's going on here. And
I know.
It's like,
he's hopeless.
Yes. I know he's probably like, you know, obviously because we know his daughter is a wrestler that's been in Mae Young Classic, does tours at Stardom. It's more like she's like, I think she's like 19, 20 years old. I know he's like, I can't let my daughter come to deal with this. This is shenanigans. like they're fighting at the workplace. This is ridiculous.
That should be practice for him to deal with because his daughter's been on NXT UK a few times. Right, so if there's ever any crossovers like Worlds Collide or something, then he knows how to deal with a temperamental woman. But he needs practice. He needs a lot of practice.
Yeah, especially for these writers when they write these things. Like, okay, so so then we get Raul Mendoza versus Riddick Moss with, I don't remember what his old gimmick was, but this has to be a new gimmick because I would have remembered seeing this. And I was just at a NXT house show, and he was not doing the Riddick regime. I'm sorry, the Riddick regimen. I'm sorry. So he comes out. He's dressed like a personal trainer. He comes up with his own bottle, and I guess now he's the personal trainer version of Montez Ford, where he's like, he has special something in the cup or in the bottle, but they will not disclose the secret ingredients. Like with Montez Ford, it's supposed to be a stand-in for, it's lean, it's promethazine, it's activist, it is, you know, whatever. But you tell me what it's supposed to be. You tell me what it's supposed to be in Rick Moss's bottle, Clive, because I have no idea.
I think it's probably, God knows, charisma juice, perhaps.
Sorry?
Charisma juice, maybe.
I guess different countries. I don't know what that is.
Oh, like charisma.
Oh my God. Okay. Look, I think he needs to order a lot more of it. So, See,
that was like, if you haven't seen NXT this week, then Riddick Moss was basically a cross of Tony Nese and DDP Yoga.
Oh my God.
It came out with products. He came out with some sort of muscle relaxer that looked like a hairdryer.
Yes.
And was using it during the match. It's like, oh, I'm waiting for the graphic to scroll across the screen at the bottom saying buy the Riddick Regiment for $49.99 and then $69.99 for the next month.
Yes. When is he gonna start doing like calisthenic videos, like he's selling Taibo or some shit like that, or like he's selling like aerobic videos? When is he gonna start doing that? That needs to be like the next week where he's like, yeah, I'm selling these tapes.
Like the Scott Steiner workout videos.
I did not know there were Scott Steiner workout videos.
Yeah, he has attractive women draped across his lap as he does sort of calisthenics.
Oh, are you sure those calisthenics are porn? Yes, I don't. I don't know. You tell me.
All I saw was GIFs. I didn't see the rest of it, so you never know.
Sure you didn't. Anyway, we'll start. Anyway, Raul Mendoza versus Riddick Moss. Moss ends up pushing Mendoza to the corner, and the referee starts a 5 count. Moss told her something about his own count being part of the regimen. He starts flexing his muscles. The ref was under press. It was the woman referee. I can't remember her name. I think it's like Jessica something. Anyway, Mendoza fired back with a series of lucha moves, but Moss caught him in and attempted springboard, and then Moss proceeded to give Mendoza a fall-away slam. Moss followed with a gorilla press that turned into a power slam for 2. Moss took a break to drink some water. Sure. So he said part of his regimen is to stay hydrated. He then mockingly offered Mendoza some water. Mendoza slapped the ball away. PEDs fell to the floor. So then Mendoza then landed into a comeback that concluded when he springboard torpedoed, splashed Moss for the pinfall. So good for Mendoza, because I was watching that match the whole time and I was like, yep, he's about to lose one of these body guys. He's about to lose to a body guy. He's about to wait. What? He's doing a whole lot, and like he's bumping his ass off, and basically like it's almost like Ric Flair with a broom. It was one of those things with Mendoza, and then all of a sudden he got the win. I was like, how about that? Pleasant surprise.
Yes. That was nice to see. I knew the result beforehand. Okay. I think Jeremy had said it on the group chat thing, but it was still good to see because Riddick Moss just walks up. I thought it was Tino Sabatelli that was out injured. I didn't realise Riddick Moss was out as well. I thought, why is he back? But good for Raul Mendoza. I was a bit not concerned, but disappointed that the tag team he had with Humberto Carrillo had been broken up for Carrillo to go to 205.
Yeah, it was great.
They could have. That had legs, that tag team.
Yes.
I'm sure of it.
It was great.
So good for him.
I want to say maybe like 2 months ago or so, they had a match on NXT and they were great in it, and that's when I first got introduced to Carrillo. So actually it was probably more than January. Probably like, early January, like around New Year's or whatever. But yeah, I'm glad that they're giving him something. I saw him, in a Evolve title match just a couple weeks ago. Evolve into, gets NXT talent. So, like, he had a great showing. Like, that dude can wrestle his ass off. So I'm glad they're giving him something here.
He's really good.
Yes. So then after that, we end up getting a recap of Kushita's debut, and then they're announcing that he's going to be in action next week. So then we get the main event, and this thing started at like 8:30, so I was like, wow, they're going to get some time here.
Yeah,
so, Adam Cole versus Matt Riddle. Dude, I mean, this match had so much stuff in it, I can't even go over it. Like, I'm just going to start off from just stories. Like, the beginning of it is Riddle is just making a mockery at Adam Cole by the fact that he can out-wrestle whenever he wants to. Cole eventually gets an advantage. I forgot how he did it, but he gets an advantage. I'm probably using his smarts or whatever. And then they're just going back and forth, trading big spots after big spot. And it's really simple stuff. It's Riddle's throwing him around the suplexes. Adam Cole is using his feet with, pump kicks, super kicks. Yugi Hiroshi, or however you pronounce that, the hell that thing is, because he ends up hurting. Riddle ends up hurting his neck, so he ends up landing strikes on the back of his head, of Riddle's head and neck. We reach a point to where Cole is kind of in trouble, or Cole is in trouble. He's about to get beaten. So Roddy runs down. Roddy tries to cause a distraction. He actually helps out Cole. Cole ends up hitting I forgot what he ends up hitting, but he ends up getting to a point to where he has Riddle. He has Riddle. I almost said Riddick, but he has Riddle in a pin combination, and Riddle almost like he suckered Cole into taking advantage. So he gets a 1, a 2, and he counters into the bro mission and gets the tap out victory. This match is awesome.
It was. There was one bit in it where Riddle was going for the go to sleep.
Yeah.
And he had him up. Or was it the go to sleep?
Yes, it was go to sleep. He turned the go to sleep into a backstabber.
Oh, that was amazing.
Yes. Yes.
I do have a love-hate relationship with Riddle, because the sort of Bill and Ted with abs thing, it's just I don't like it. It's just grating, and it's like it's as if he's a bit dense. But see, when he gets in that ring, he's far from dense, because he's a monster in the ring. He really is. I really like his working punches, but kind of like a thrusted chest chop.
Yes.
If that makes sense.
Yes. Like palm strikes. Let's call them palm strikes.
Yeah, palm strikes. I've not seen that as someone's official working punch.
Yeah.
And he's a joy to watch in the ring. He really is. I thought that Velveteen Dream match was excellent. The Drew Gulak one as well.
Yeah.
A few weeks ago on NXT.
Yeah.
So, and again, I say this on my show all the time. A lot of the best matches on NXT, Adam Cole is a common denominator in all of them. So it might not be super flashy, but it's as if he's just got this magic formula that makes his matches really good.
Yeah, yeah. Like, he... especially because of the way they treat him with win-losses or whatever, he's not a top... Or he is... If there is a mid-card in NXT amongst the top 6 acts on the men's single side, like, he is definitely in that 5-6 role. But, like, everybody has to give their A+ game to beat Cole. Like, you're not just going to beat Cole in, like, 10 minutes. It's going to be it's going to be a war to beat him. And then anybody else, he's going to beat below. I mean, obviously, there's clearly weird exceptions, like when he was doing the thing with, EC3 at the end of last year. But outside of that, he's there to he's a star, and that's another thing is like I almost feel like they think that because he's so over they can beat him like this, because it's funny because him and Roddy were arguing in the show about how both of them more or less felt like they've cost each other big gigantic matches in the last 3-4 weeks, and then it ends when Fish and Roddy walk off, and then O'Reilly and Cole walk off, and they go up the ramp, and you could hear Cole saying, like, man, like, I had a plan, and, like, he screwed up my plan, and, I keep losing big matches, and it's like, well, it's not that you keep losing big matches, that you never won a big match. Every match you've ever won, every match you've ever had in TakeOver in a singles capacity, you've lost. You've only ever won when it's been a tag match or a multi-person match, and it's like, I like the fact that, like, they're both at their wits' end, because Undisputed is not doing as hot as they should be, and, like, the pressure's mounting, and, like, the tension is just raising, and, like, eventually they're building to a breaking point, and all because of wins and losses mattering. How novel and simple is that? Like,
it's quite basic, but in a good way.
Yes. It's not, it's not over a fucking shampoo commercial or like, or all the other stupid ass things that they have people fight over on the main roster. So it's like, I just love this show. And I don't know where you would put this match as far as a rating, as far as a star rating or whatever. But I thought it was well over 4. I never really thought about it or thought of it on those terms. But like there was a whole lot of awesome in this match.
It wasn't at a frantic pace the whole time, which I think helps it feel a bit more natural. And probably if you take takeovers out of the equation, it might be one of the better NXT TV matches of the year, definitely.
Yeah, so that's the end of the show. Also of note, it was funny hearing how on the voiceovers that Morrow was saying that the upcoming people are jockeying position to try to get matches or settle scores at the upcoming at TakeOver that's upcoming, and they didn't mention like the name for TakeOver because like it's been announced that it's going to be in, I believe, it's Bridgeport, Connecticut, and they're calling it NXT 25. As opposed to NXT Bridgeport or NXT Connecticut. They were like, nah, that's too small. We have to just have to give it a name, something else. I thought that was funny.
If it's called NXT Connecticut, isn't that where the WWE headquarters are?
Yes, but that area of Connecticut is so close to New York that they like to pretend that they're in New York.
Aye, that's why it's always called New York.
Yep. Even when they're in Jersey and New York, because they want to be so established with the tri-state area, or really New York. But yeah, thanks for coming on the show, man.
Right, I was just going to say thank you for having me on. It's good to finally come on. I had a busy April with some family holidays and we do the quiz time invitational thing on our show, so it's good to finally get on and chat about some good old NXT and some less than average older NXT.
Yeah. What is the term? Bollocks?
Bollocks, yep.
Yes.
Shite, basically.
Yes. Just trash. So yeah. Thanks for coming on. Like I want to get everybody from the show on and everybody that's ever been on the network on the show eventually. But yeah, so go ahead and get your plugs in.
So you can find me and my co-host Ricky on the Ricky and Clive Wrestling Show on this network. We usually drop on a Wednesday night. This week and this month, actually, Ricky is basically doing the job for Ramadan, so he might not be available as often as he would like. And so I did a solo show last night talking about the current heel model in WWE and the pros and cons of if it's working. So check that out if you want. We are at Ricky and Clive on Twitter. And I also do the 205 Live reviews on socialsuplex.com. That's me.
Okay, so thanks again, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, guys, that's the end of the show. Be sure to rate us on whatever app you're listening to. Tell the folks about the Social Suplex Podcast Network. Be sure to check out our friends at powerslam.tv, the sponsor for this show. If you're a fan of independent pro wrestling, they have over 4,000 hours of footage from all over the world. You can use the code Social Suplex to get your free month's trial. And don't forget to visit prowrestlingtees.com/Social Suplex and pick up some official Social Suplex Podcast Network merchandise. You can pick up a Ricky and Clive Wrestling Show t-shirt. How about that?
Well, thank you, James. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so also be sure to check out the other shows on the Social Suplex Network. On Sundays, we have One Nation Radio. On Tuesdays or Mondays, depending on me and Rich beefing about it, we get Keepin It Strong Style with Jeremy and Josh. On Wednesdays, again, the Ricky and Clive Wrestling Podcast. On every other Wednesday, we get Grown Men Watch This Shit with Chris and Jeremy. On Thursdays, we get this show, NXT, Then Now Forever, depending on if I can get the show out in time, because sometimes it'll be Friday. And then on Saturdays, we have All Things Elite with Floyd. Thanks for listening. Later.